Hello, my name is Alan McGraw. Today I am going to be speaking about oil and gas instruments affected by or made necessary by the increase in horizontal drilling. Now, as most of you are well aware, the Permian Basin economy has been booming lately. One of the main reasons for this has been the increase in horizontal drilling activity going on across the Permian Basin. The Wolfcamp Formation has been where most of this has been focused, and the Wolfcamp is located both in the Midland Basin, which is the eastern part of the Permian Basin, as well as the Delaware Basin, which is the western part of the Permian Basin. This horizontal drilling in these formations has allowed us to access and produce oil and gas reserves that it has been impossible to produce before. Along with the benefits that go along with horizontal drilling, though, also come new challenges that are faced by those of us in the industry. The challenges I will be speaking on specifically today are those faced by a landman in the oil and gas business. Landmen deal with documents affecting title and also contractual agreements between companies on a daily basis. Three of those that are very important and that are most affected by the increase in horizontal drilling that I will be speaking about are the JOA, or Joint Operating Agreement, the PSA, or Production Sharing Agreement, and pooling or unitization agreements. First, I'm going to speak about the JOA, or Joint Operating Agreement. The JOA is probably the single most common document used by oil and gas landmen that are in-house today. It is a document that helps set up and define the parameters by which parties will deal with each other when drilling a well together. It defines who will operate the well, along with what recourse or what actions the non-operating parties may have against the operating party should they be dissatisfied with what is going on. Now, this document has been in use for a very long time and has changed very few times over the years. The most recent version that has been put out of the Joint Operating Agreement is the 1989 Model Form. Now, the 1989 Model Form, as is obvious, has been around since 1989, so it does not have much language in it that would discuss horizontal drilling or what to do with horizontal wells. Therefore, one of the options is that you could modify the 1989 form yourself. The option that I would prefer is to use the 1989 horizontal model form, which has just recently been put out by the American Association of Professional Landmen. It takes into account the things that need to be considered when drilling horizontal wells, such as adding the new definitions for lateral length, horizontal, all the new definitions you will need to add, along with addressing issues that are special to horizontal wells. The second agreement I am going to speak about is the Production Sharing Agreement, or the PSA. Now, production sharing agreements have been around for a while, but they have just recently gained popularity in use for horizontal drilling. Now, a production sharing agreement is an agreement that is signed by all parties who own an interest in the wells or in the lands that a well is going to be drilled on. This agreement has language in it that will define what each party owns in the well, interest-wise, along with setting up ways of remedying any issues between parties and things of that nature. The production sharing agreement is an agreement that should be signed by all working interest owners or owners of the well itself, along with the mineral interest owners who own the rights to the minerals underground. It should be signed also by any royalty interest owners who may not own an interest in the minerals but do own an interest in the royalties from any well. This way you would avoid any issues that might arise, be it disputes between parties over who owns what, or whether production is being fairly allocated to the parties in the correct manner. One option that either could coincide with the production sharing agreement or just replace it outright is the drilling of allocation wells, wherein a party goes in, gets authority from the state, and goes in and drills a horizontal well, and then defines who will get paid what after that by looking at where the production comes from. However, this seems to be a relatively inexact science, however sincere the parties may be, and that could still cause issues, in my opinion. So I think the safest route to go is to get all parties to sign on to a production sharing agreement. That way you can prevent any future disputes on who should own what interest. Now, the last document I will speak about is the pooling agreement. Pooling agreements are probably the easiest way to go for drilling horizontal wells. The problem is that most oil and gas leases do not include rights for you to pool more than 40 or 160 acres at a time, which really is not enough acreage on which to drill a horizontal well. Therefore, if your lease has pooling language that allows you to drill or allows you to hold more than that amount of acreage, then it's probably best to just do a pooling agreement and have all parties sign that, and that would probably be the easiest route. But most likely that will not be the case, and you will have to use a production sharing agreement or something of that nature. So as I've talked about, the horizontal drilling that has been going on in the Permian Basin has been a great thing for the area, but it's also presented new challenges. But as long as you know what to look for and understand what is going on, you should be able to prevent your company from getting into any bad agreements or anything of that nature. Thank you all for listening.